breaking, we are taking, this is our time. Just breathe, this will be a hard fight. The truth cash out in the light.
What's up, Johnny? How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What's going on?
Oh, not too much. How's the family? How's the kids?
They're doing good. Running
That's
around,
good.
playing baseball, softball, all that good stuff.
Nice, nice.
My
Hey, we got Leonard in the house.
my brother-in-law had a tournament yesterday, so 2 days before my son's game, my sister-in-law was like, "Hey, Brent's not going to be here, and there's nobody else to coach." And I'm like, "Okay, great."
That's how they get you.
And see, I've coached his team before, but this year he wasn't even going to play. He's been playing soccer, and they didn't have enough kids. They've got just enough. So if one kid doesn't show up, they can't play. So
Oh wow.
they talked him into getting on the team again. So they had a game like last week. It's the first time I've seen any of the kids at all. Uh, don't know anybody there. So it was a borderline disaster. I had no idea who was going where and what was playing what. I didn't know who could pitch, who could catch, who could do. And if you ask the kids, they'll tell you they can play three different positions.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you ask them which one do you like the most, they're like, I don't know. I'm like, oh my God. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun stuff. So what's
Yeah,
going on
back in
with
the
you?
day what's that?
How's the job going?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's peaceful. It's quiet. Had some drama the other night, but um so we had a contingent of law enforcement and stuff and but everything worked out fine. But crazy evening. Crazy evening. But other than that, quiet, peaceful, just enjoying, the cooler weather. It's dropped down again back to the 40s and 50s for some unknown reason, but it's at least been pleasant at night. And we had some bad thunderstorms though, really bad thunderstorms.
Yeah.
But other than that, not a whole lot.
So have you officially broken the public's heart
About my lifestyle.
about about the fact that you're no longer on the market anymore?
Yeah, I'm no longer single. No, as long as anybody's ever known me, I've been single. No,
Mr.
I no.
Farabee has a love interest.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I do. Um, her, she's I don't know. I don't want to go into personal detail with her, but she's a high school science teacher. Her name is Mars, and she's Filipina, and we just
Well,
enjoy
let me say,
hanging out.
I think it's awesome that that you're dating somebody with a disability. My daughter, she knows sign language, you know, so because obviously she's blind, right?
Evidently, that's what I told her. She was like, oh, she was like, you don't talk to other people. Don't talk. I was like, sweetheart, you're the only one that wants this. I said so.
uh,
Don't
I had to give
don't
you a
even
hard
sweat it.
time.
Nah,
Good,
she's
man.
yeah.
I'm glad you're back. You're back in the game.
We'll see. We'll see.
Does
So
she
far,
have
so
kids?
good. Adults, because I mean, she's in her 50s and I'm in my 50s. So
Right.
her kids are grown.
Well,
And
that's good.
they still live in the Philippines, and but she's in contact with them every single day. So yeah,
Well,
she's
good. Y'all
awesome.
can run around and do old people stuff together.
And we are, you know. So
So what about the Bigfoot stuff?
I personally haven't been able to do a whole lot of Bigfoot myself, but I mean, the
No,
key thing is,
what about her?
oh, she doesn't
Have you
understand
brought
it.
her into your?
Yeah, Yeah, I've
Yeah.
explained to her the podcast, and even tonight's topic. We're gonna get into the PG film hoax. So I showed her the PG film to say, hey, this is what we're gonna discuss tonight, and stuff like that, and talk to her, and kind of went into my research channel and showed her, the woods and what we're looking for and stuff like that. So she understands to an extent. I mean, they don't have anything like this over there, so um,
Yeah.
you know, but she gets it. I mean, she's one of those things she doesn't understand as far as being agnostic or for or against. She's like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're doing."
Right.
But that was it.
Well, cool.
Um,
All right.
so
That's
yeah,
enough of your personal life. Sorry.
yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. It's not like I had a baby at
Yeah.
50.
Yeah. I know. Not quite 50.
Yeah, but you're knocking on that door.
Not quite. You got a few more years.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the biggest thing is, me and you have discussed it briefly and stuff like that. But the biggest thing that's going on in the Bigfoot community, and every so many years something big happens, and this year it's the release of this so-called PG hoax, and it was supposed to be released out on Plex, according to this guy Eric that did his own little. He said he had a early viewing of the show. He didn't go into details how that was possible or whatever. Um,
Well, there's a
and
lot of people seem to be freaking out about it, and I don't know that anybody's seen it yet. Have they?
No, no. Well, according to him, he's seen it, and according to maybe one or two other people, they got early screening. So I don't know how that's possible. But anyways, Plex. Well, I talked to Brian King Sharp. Me and Brian were talking, and it's not been released. Matter of fact, they don't even know where they're going to release it at this time. So this
Right.
guy. Well, and let me get into this before we get into PG thing, but this guy that put out that video, Eric, and I might not be 100%, and I will tell you guys I might not be 100%, but I think I'm pretty. I might be, but I'll say I might be wrong. But he was wrong on this as far as when it was coming out, what platform it was coming out on. He was wrong. I mean, I looked into it. It's not there. It's not. It wasn't debuted for the public on March night or what is this? March 19th, and so forth.
And
It's not out
wasn't
there. It
it
hasn't
played
been
at
released.
South by Southwest?
Yeah, it was it was released at that film festival. Okay.
Right.
Now, unless somebody bootlegged it and is now showing to everybody, but that might be a liability when they find out who did that. I don't know how that works. But this guy Eric that did that video and said, he's giving his opinion. Oh, I'm so sad. This PG film is hoax. Blah blah blah. This is the same guy that I truly believe I'm on the right track here. It's the same guy that came out with a video a few years ago. He's part of one of those. He's good friends with Brent Dill and stuff like that. And he did a show where he came out with a telegraph from like the 1800s or something, back in the Civil War, whenever the Civil War, 17, I don't care, way back when they only did telegraphs. So he brings out this telegraph and said, proof of Bigfoot. And the telegraph in brief read, it was a military personnel messaging his command, and he said, talking about the life, the day to day, what was going on day to day. It was very simple, but then he gets into this one spot where he says, that Bigfoot was coming into their camp and stealing their horses, and that's when the first major red flag. This guy said he found this telegraph at a library going through microfiche or something. I don't know, but he found this telegraph. See what I'm saying? And it mentions Bigfoot specifically, that it was coming in and taking their horses, and this soldier was asking his command, "What would you like us to do about it?" Blah blah blah. Well, here's where the problem lies. When was the term Bigfoot coined?
It was not the Civil War, I can tell you that.
Absolutely not. It wasn't. That term was not ever used one time in any newspaper, telegraph, anything. That term was used for the first time in the late 1950s. See what I'm saying? So that's the
Yeah.
first red flag, and I'm like, whoa, time out. There's no way that's real. There's no way. Now, he either got lied to or whatever, but he says he found it, or he's lying. So he's on here and he's doing this thing, hey, the PG film's a hoax and all this. Um,
Yes, but this guy didn't. He didn't make. Is he the same one who made the film?
no, no, he's just somebody who said he saw it already. He said
Oh, oh,
he
well,
said he watched it and he's so saddened because it's cut and dry. It's cut and dry that it's basically the Patterson lied and Bob Gimlin lied, everybody lied, and it's a hoax and all this. But the things that like I said, we haven't watched it. I'm waiting for it to come out. I may take the time and watch it. But one of the things is he mentions in it that Clint, which is the son of Patterson, and some other person, I forget the name, it might have been that owl guy that we talked to. I don't know. Somebody else. They actually addressed Bob Gimlin at some kind of Bigfoot thing, a seminar or a conference or something. I don't know. And asked him specifically, went right up to him. They said, "This is all on film. You ready to come clean? You ready to acknowledge this thing?" And then, according to them, Bob Gimlin said, "Yes, I'm ready." But yet it didn't happen. See what I'm saying? All of a sudden, somebody stepped in, his wife, and said, "No, this is, we're not going to do this," which is really funny. Something sounds really fishy there. But all of a sudden, Bob Gimlin does not come out publicly at any time in this film or since then, and denounce this film. See what I'm saying? Or denounce that Bigfoot existed or whatever, it was a fake. And you would think Bob Gimlin would be the first one to come out and say, "Okay, guys, it's time to come clean. Yes, we faked it." But he hasn't. I'd be more interested
yeah.
in that than I would this film.
Well, I guess from what I've heard, there's footage from Patterson's son that he supposedly found that was taken before the Patterson film that shows
Right.
the uh, quote unquote suit
Right.
and them doing a test run and all this other stuff. But I we're all making a bunch of. Yeah, I mean, it's just all a bunch of conjecture and speculation based on something we haven't even seen yet, and
Yep.
everybody's talking about it. It's crazy. It's like caught on like wildfire.
Oh yeah, I mean it's because and we'll get into a lot of that, but like you said, that with they found this film. I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of funny that they find this film 60 years later. You would assume that everything that Patterson owned or anything has been gone through. I guarantee you, his personal belongings, anything he had stored away, has been gone through. Definitely since the film came out, because they're like, "Hey, I wonder, he's got this film. Let's watch it all. Let's see if there's anything else." But miraculously, 60 years later, this thing survives, and his
Yeah,
son finds it. See what I'm saying?
he's been dead for a long time.
So I find that as a red flag. But then they said they aged it. According to this Eric guy or whatever who did that video, when he says he saw it. He makes the comment that the way they were able to age it and say it was prior footage to the Patterson film is on the 16 millimeter. There's these symbols that show up on the screen. There's triangle number type. You know what I mean? There's a little code, weird code. And their research showed that code was prior to the code on the 16 millimeter that Patterson, they filmed Patty. Well, okay, that's weird. But what are the chances I can purchase the film and use it later? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and aren't those symbols just to relay that it was made by Kodak? Isn't that all that is?
Right, but it dates it too. Those codes say when, what year. I mean, it's like I said, it's a code that tells they can always go back on and say this is when we produced this film. But if I bought that film today and decided next year to use it, and it's a different code for that year, see what I'm saying? It's you can't say we filmed this a year ago. No, I filmed it today. I just bought the film a year ago. You know what I mean? There's no, you know what I mean? And back then not a lot of people had these cameras. It wasn't like these people were renting these things all the time. So maybe it was old storage film that they were trying to sell. There's like, hey, we stocked up on this stuff. We need to sell it, and it's older. There's a lot of question marks that I don't think were answered or will ever be answered in it. Like I said, the bottom line is, I think the key thing is that, and I've said this publicly since this thing came out, was it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it comes up as a hoax, if Bob Gimlin himself comes out and says, yeah, we hoaxed it, what difference does it make? Does it change that Johnny Two Bears saw a Sasquatch?
It'll definitely change a lot of people. There's quite a few people out there who were. I mean, there are people who literally their entire shtick is going over.
Right.
I mean, there are people that are so vested in this film that they're willing to steal from people.
Oh, absolutely.
Steal from old women whose husbands just died.
Right.
So I don't know, man.
I mean, especially the other person that spent the last who knows how many years doing nothing but analyzing this film, and if it came out to be fake, then his credibility is shot. It's gone. It's history. See what I'm saying? Those are the only people that I think will be affected by it coming out as fake. As far as believers or non-believers, you were either a believer or non-believer regardless of the PG film. I don't think that's going to change anybody's minds. See what I'm saying? The PG film didn't make me a believer.
No, it didn't make me a believer either. I mean, my own personal sightings and interactions is what made me a believer. The only thing I'll say about the Patterson film, and again, I've seen all the different things that you've seen, and it doesn't look like a man in a monkey suit for the time. It looks like it's pretty good, but but I wasn't there. But what I can tell you is and I've said this a lot in the past, where I've tried to explain to people how they need to get. A lot of people go looking for Sasquatch, and they have this picture of Patty in their head, this big lumbering, slow walking, or you call it fast walking or whatever, upright creature that's just going across the sandbar, and that's just not what I've dealt with, and that's just not what I've seen. They're like erratic ninja monkeys. It's just that was always weird to me, but that doesn't mean anything. I personally think there's probably different types, like the ones that we saw out there at the Happy Place. They didn't look anything like Patty in the face.
Right.
They had the male, he had a long face, almost like a baboon, and then what we called the juvenile, could have been a female, I don't know. She didn't look anything like Patty in the face. Like, she had the weirdest looking face I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was a shock. It was its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't, people say, oh, it looked like a monkey, or it looked like a human or a native. This face was its own face,
Right.
So I don't know. And with a lot of the stuff, it's really all I can say is I wasn't there. Unfortunately, there's only
two people.
Two people who really know the truth, and that's Patterson and Gimlin. So
there's two people that know the truth if it's real. Three people know the truth if it's fake. You know what I mean? Because there's that third person in the suit. But
his wife is still super dead set that it was real, and she completely on the other side of this still, from what I've heard.
Well, yeah, I mean, according to this guy that did this video, I should have pulled it up and got more information on it. He made the comment that in the video, she is approached. Because the son Clint wanted to go public with it, it destroyed his relationship with his mother. She didn't want to have nothing to do with him because, quote, this was her cash cow. This is what she was making money on. She didn't want him to ruin it for her. Blah blah blah. Well, it's my understanding she's pretty old. I don't think money is an issue, so that's a red flag. But anyways, I guess there was some, they came back together. He says all of a sudden he's sitting there and somebody approaches him and says, "Hey, your mom wants to talk to you." And he's like, "Oh, really?" So he goes to reconnect with his mother, and then, but the only comment that, according to this guy, that she made about the film was, "This film has ruined a lot of people's lives." Is all she made. It's hurt a lot of people. I don't see where it's hurt anybody or where it destroyed lives. I don't know of anybody who can come out and say my life was destroyed because of the PG film, because Patterson died early. He only died within a couple years after the film, and it hasn't affected Bob Gimlin because he kind of ignored it for many years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it hasn't ruined his life other than people wanting to talk to him and get an interview. So I don't really understand that. Like I said, just by this guy's comments on his quote viewing, I just get a lot of red flags. Especially
Well,
if I'm right
it's
and
all
he's the guy.
secondhand too.
Correct. But like I said, I think it's weird that this film, after 60 years, just miraculously pops up, and it wasn't given to somebody important. It was given to an independent film guy. You know what I mean? At a university,
I don't
they
know.
have. Yeah, according to him,
I
that Clint and this guy or
need to find
something.
out. Need to find out who funded all of this,
Yeah,
like who filmed all the production and you know brought every bit of that together. It was kind of, if you want to get conspiratorial, you got all these sightings popping up right now in Ohio, like multiple sightings right now on the
yeah,
news.
yeah. Ohio's getting a lot of those. Yeah, he brings up this. David Pilates replied to a guy. I don't know. I guess he's saying a guy on the 18th. Garbage trying to make money. I guarantee the PG film caught a real Bigfoot. Like I said, it's one of those things we won't know. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can watch this thing, but I don't think there's going to be any concrete forensic evidence that says that the
Well,
Patterson Gimlin film is fake.
it's going to have to come down to uh, like if they've got film of, because the claim is on the other side of the fence is that yes, they had a fake Bigfoot costume for B footage because they were making a film.
Right.
And it's going to come down to, all right, how similar is the costume or whatever that they supposedly have video of to Patty? And
Right.
if you put people in this suit, does it look like Patty or not? And that should be able to answer it,
Right.
straight up. So
Yeah, and because they're already making excuses for it, saying, "Well, the costume that they found in this film, it's absolutely Patty. When I saw it, it was absolutely Patty." But if they already filmed Patty and now they're making B footage so he can put this documentary out there, you're going to make it look like Patty the best you can because it's going to be part of your B reel. There's a lot of videos guys go to my channel. I do a lot of B reel footage. See what I'm saying? Most people that do that, or especially have a subject in it, you're going to have B footage, things that lead up to it, things that come afterwards and stuff like that. So, like I said, a lot of red flags. But really, like I said, the bottom line is it doesn't really matter. Before this even came out, before this even became in question, the population was 50-50 anyways. Half people thought PG film was fake. Half people thought it was real, and it didn't change the Bigfoot community whatsoever, one way or another. See what I'm saying? And I still think it will have absolutely zero impact on it whatsoever because it doesn't change the fact that, like I said, Johnny saw a Bigfoot. Tom, we've got Icebox in the chat room. Icebox has seen a Bigfoot. You know what I mean?
right.
So from a film shot back in 1967, today I've got to now call Johnny a liar or Tommy a liar or anything like that because they want to base the whole Bigfoot phenomenon on one video. No,
Right.
they've been hoaxing ever since. The guy that created the footprints, that was back in the 1950s, and he got caught hoaxing. He had wooden footprints. He was making footprints. Hoaxing's been around for a long time. Me and you deal with it every day when we look at these videos. People are always lying and hoaxing and stuff like that, making false claims and creating stories that aren't true. We deal with it every day. Do we give up on the phenomenon because it's all got to be fake because this one person's lying to me or this person's lying to me? No.
What was isn't there something else too? And again, we're just spitballing and talking about, secondhand information and speculation.
Correct.
But somebody had mentioned something about Meldrum and how it was calling his. Does he have a role in this somehow, some way? Is he in
They're
the film, or was
claiming
that brought up, or what?
again, this is the guy getting it, saying he saw an early release of this, that Jeff Meldrum was shown the same footage, and they caught his response and made he some. I got to go back and watch it. It's not a very long video; it's like 30 minutes, where Jeff Meldrum makes a comment that, well, I guess it could possibly be a hoax or something to that nature. He's basically leaning towards the Patterson Gimlin film being a hoax. I find that another red flag because, again, Meldrum has based a lot of his information on the PG film. Talking about bone structure and hip movement and the feet and everything else. He's been on site. He's analyzed the footprints. There's no way he's going to sit there and say it's a hoax when he's got that much invested in it. See what I'm saying? And especially when all you've got is a film mysteriously found 60 years later that you're basing everything on. See what I'm saying? So, and it's kind of funny. It comes out after Meldrum's passed away. You know what I mean? Um,
No.
I would have probably left Jeff Meldrum out of the equation altogether because the man can't. Because I guarantee you, he would be on some kind of podcast somewhere saying, "I never said that," or "I was commenting on something else," and they put that in the film. See what I'm saying? They clipped it
No.
from something else and added it to the film, or you know what I mean? You just don't want to use dead man quotes because they're not there to defend themselves. Yep. See, like even
Yeah.
like Tennessee, Kentucky, he said it too. He says, I was searching old Jeff transcripts today, three interviews on Untold Radio. All his comments was towards it was real. So, like I said, if this means they had to have interviewed Jeff Meldrum before he died to get that comment from him, but yet he never came out once and said it was fake,
No.
not one time. But you're going to say it to these guys in an interview prior to your death. You know what I mean? It makes It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. If he had publicly done that, knowing that they're doing a documentary, I guarantee you Jeff Meldrum would be already saying it was fake, or would have done some kind of interview after that saying, "Hey, look, I believe it was fake," but he never did. Never did. That man went to his deathbed believing that Bigfoot was real and the PG film was real.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We're gonna have to definitely get a hold of a copy or watch it on whatever platform. Where's it supposed to come out?
And now I don't know. According to that guy again on his little 30-minute video, he said that it was supposed to come out on Plex, which is one of those movie apps and stuff like that you can put on your Fire Stick or your phone. And it was supposed to be released on March 19th on Plex. I downloaded Plex. It's free. It's free, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing there to watch that. So, like I said, me and Brian got into a conversation on Messenger, and shout out to Brian. Good friend. Hadn't seen him in a while. He said he made the comment that it has not been released, and that he made the comment that they haven't determined, or any of these companies hasn't come out and said, hey, like Spotify, or not Spotify, but let's say Netflix says, hey, we'll pay you X amount, we'll put it on our platform. Nobody has done that. They have no platform for this. Nobody's reached out to them to put it on their platform, and they haven't put it on a platform. I'm sure there's some platforms they can pay to put it on there. You know what I mean? You want to pay me, I'll play it every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you want to pay me to do it. So,
Well, there's definitely enough interest out there. I'm sure they'll make some money off of this one. I did see another. I want to say it was something Matt and Moneymaker posted about. I guess his Patterson's wife was paid $35,000 to give them the rights to the film or something like that. Did you see
right.
something like that?
I haven't seen that. I know he did address this issue, and he was adamant that the PG film was real. That he has spoken to her. He knows her on a personal level at some point, and stuff like that. But like I said, I think there's a lot that's going to come out in the long run because of this. But again, if people made a lot of money on the PG film being real, now you got these guys are going to try to make a round to make some money on it being fake. See what I'm saying? They're just trying a different avenue to make some money because they make a comment in the film. He says they make a comment about Bigfoot being a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. I have to disagree with that.
Well,
Yeah,
it
they're
probably
swag.
is, it's just
If
not
you
for us.
Yeah, but you can't sit there and count jack links. See what I'm saying? They're just using them as a spokesman. It's not Bigfoot
Yeah.
itself is not. The Jack Links is a big company making billions as it is on beef jerky. They're just using it as a mascot. So I wouldn't count that. But if you're looking at merchandise and different things like that, it's not $1 billion. It is $1 billion industry on lost revenue because we spend a lot of money doing this and we don't get paid for it. So
Yeah.
it's a $1 billion lost revenue.
Oh man. Well, that's actually if you do research and you fund your own equipment, then yeah, that's definitely true. It is not a moneymaker. There are ways to make money. You can do a. Here's the thing with me is I've never like I want people to know and I want people to see, my evidence and what I'm doing and the things I've learned and all that. But I just don't have the time or the motivation to like just saturate because that's what people do. They just
Right.
saturate the internet with, clips and
Oh, I do it. I do it too. I'm
making
guilty of it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't have I don't know. I just don't have the
Well,
time to
of course
go
I don't
through
do
and
it
do
for
all that.
yeah, I don't do it for financial gain, but I'll do shorts and stuff,
Well,
and
what
I
I'm
put on
saying
it
is there's things you can do,
to
to
make money.
try to intentionally try to, drive more traffic and make money and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
that's just never
Yeah, like
really
purchasing
interested me. So
subscribers.
yeah, you can
You can
purchase
purchase subscribers.
subscribers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, look me, I'm a
they're all
big dog.
from, and they're all you got 5,000 followers from Taiwan.
Yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden, yeah, you look at your studio, and 95% of your viewing audience is from Bangladesh.
Yeah,
And you wonder why. You know, one day you've got 100 subscribers, next day you got 9,000. There's a problem. There's a problem.
yeah.
You know, but
Well, I mean, it's the dude. I've seen so much, and that's over the years why I I keep a very very small circle.
yep.
Because the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people out there that they're willing to lie, steal, and cheat just to get ahead a little bit.
Yep.
And I've known quite a few people who they literally they'll find someone who's gotten a little bit of success, or maybe they've got a good piece of evidence, or maybe they've got a really good area or something like that, and they'll just glom onto that person.
Right.
And then when things fall apart, they'll just move on to another researcher, and they
Yep.
just do that. All there's a whole lot of coattail riding and ladder climbing, and
Oh
people
yeah.
trying to get famous or just I don't know, man. It's all
Well,
super
there's a lot of
complicated.
that.
That's why I do what I do. And like with these incidents that I know, and I know of a couple other, some people that have done some really foul things, but I don't get on here and just call people out by name and go into it and all that stuff because I don't want the drama.
Yeah.
I don't want like when Brian, and I will say this though, Brian Sharp, he did one of the best debunkings of anybody I've ever seen with,
Who's that?
Ontario.
Oh yeah,
Sharp.
absolutely. He did.
And there's
Fantastic.
no way, uh, I just don't see any way around it, when something is like
And
that,
and that's the point. Okay, if you go back and look at Sasquatch Ontario, that's that guy Carpenter that created the hoax. Okay, and like you said, Brian proved it without a shadow of a doubt. All praise to Brian's efforts and hard work. He did a great job in doing that. Showed that it was a hoax, showed it was a lie. Zero effect on the guy's subscriptions. Zero effect. See what I'm saying? People still. That's what I'm saying. This PG thing, it's not going to make an effect on anything. You know what I mean?
right?
It's the same. It's the same with Todd Standing. You either believe in Todd Standing or you don't believe in Todd Standing. I think Todd Standing's a liar. I think he hoaxed. I think those are mechanically made. And there's some people that are way higher up in the field that I am that have really deep dived on it and found that it was a fake. And they're great guys. I respect a lot. And but yet it doesn't change anything. He's got 100 and something thousand subscribers. It's not going to change anything. He's still going to charge $3,500 to come up there and spend a week with him looking for a Bigfoot. See what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I had a lady interview me a couple of months back that apparently gave Standing some money so she could come out there, and I can't remember if he was supposed to set her up, supposed to buy her tents and all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
she was a
Anyway,
guest. She was a guest that we had on the show.
was that who it was?
Yeah. You had spoken to her, and then we set her up for as a guest. She was on the show, and he charged her some money. And then when something happened, her dog got sick and stuff like that, she couldn't go, and he
Right.
refused to give her the money back.
Yeah. I don't know,
So,
man. There's all kinds of dirty stuff that goes on with this
oh
topic.
yeah, yeah. It's really funny because, and I tell people all the time, guys, listen. If you're watching this show in the future, today, tomorrow, whatever, listen. There are people out there in this field that are flat out going to lie to you in your face. Period. It's people like me and Johnny that interview these people. We try to ask certain questions and stuff like that to kind of bring out the truth. So that you can make a better decision on, is this person telling me the truth or not. It's not my job to call them out or say, hey, I think that story you just told me was a lie. But what I am telling you is there are some people out there that will come on your show and absolutely blatantly lie. And we have had them on the show that later I redid some research and looked into things and found out that this person was lying. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or I got a phone call on one particular person. Somebody called me and said, "Hey, let me give you the inside scoop." So it's
Oh
about
yeah, I
integrity.
didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring it out on here, but I will bring
No.
it up. But I'm not gonna call out the people. You know what I mean? It's their integrity. It's their lives. I think it shows for itself. And
Well, everybody's got to make a decision for themselves. There's no way to vet. That's one of the things I've heard about, Wes and Sasquatch Chronicles, or even other podcasters. People complain that, that a story isn't believable and that, he's not vetting people good enough or whatever. You can't. You're
right,
literally going, unless you're sitting down and showing somebody's actual evidence, their audio or physical evidence or video or whatever else.
right.
You've just got to take people's word for it. And the fact of the matter is, some people aren't going to tell the
Yeah.
truth, but a lot of people do. And then
Oh,
there's also the times where you might think that people, and I use Happy Harris as a really good example of that. When I heard his story, and I know I've said this 100 times, But when he first told Captain Joe, or Captain Joe told me his story, I didn't believe it. And then I actually talked to Happy, and thank God I did. And thank God we took a chance on him,
Right.
because three trips later, I'm standing 50 feet away from one. If I would have went on my first instinct and been like, I don't believe this dude, then
Right.
that never would have happened. So sometimes you
Eh,
just don't know,
yep. You would
unfortunately.
have you,
And I
you would have never had the encounter that you had if you had just blown him off.
no, never even would have known to go out there. So
Yeah.
you just you gotta and all it's just that's what this whole field that's what research is, and that's what my disappointment in the scientific community is I see them as just a bunch of cowards, because
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to be about. You're supposed to, in order to find the truth, you've got to take a risk. You got to take a chance. When you're trying to accomplish something that other people have not accomplished yet, whether it's traveling the world, going around, circumnavigating the world in a weather balloon or whatever, you got to take a chance.
Yep.
And if you don't,
I
if you're
agree.
afraid to take a chance, then you're never going to get anywhere. And that's the disappointment I've always had in the scientific community, that there's too many people that are, they're afraid, um, that whatever college they work for, they're not going to get funding, or people are going to make fun of them, whatever. What happened to adventure?
Right.
What happened to taking a chance? What happened to, uh, going across country and trying to find uninhabited areas, and all these. I mean, it's like the money has squashed the American spirit to a certain
Yeah.
extent. Now, I'm not getting political here, and I believe in capitalism, but I mean, it's just everything is so wrapped up in money nowadays that
Yeah.
it's very hard to tell what's real and what's not sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I tell people all the time is, if you get into this field, go into it, and I'm not saying open-minded as in believe in the paranormal or the supernatural. I'm saying go in it open-minded, that it may be real or it may be fake. It's going to be your adventure, your outcome in the end. In the end, you're going to say, "Hey, I've been researching this for 20 years. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing." Well, then you got nothing. See what I'm saying? That's your adventure. That's your story, and that's the end of your story. And then you have somebody else go out there and they have an encounter or they find evidence. That's the end of their story. Just go into it like that. Open minded that it could happen for you or it could not happen for you. You know.
Well,
Uh,
the one thing that I tell people, especially if they're, there's, and I don't think people understand this. There's a lot of people that go out in the woods looking for these things that don't even pull a camera out of their pocket.
yep.
That make absolutely no effort to actually film, and
Yep.
there's hardly anybody who records the entire time they're in the field.
Because it's almost
And there's
impossible. It's
virtu
just
and there's
yeah.
virtually no one who records 360 degrees at all times. That's what
Right.
has to be done.
Yeah.
I think we would have already proven that. I probably would have already proven this before if I would accomplish that. But anyway, long story short, I tell people that, as if I know what the hell I'm talking about. But um, if you're going to do this, if you're going to spend your free time in the woods looking for these creatures, now this doesn't mean you have to believe everything you hear. You don't have to trust everyone you come across, but you need to proceed as if these things are real. If you're going to
Right.
spend your time being out in the woods, because what's going to happen is you're going to get complacent, and maybe you're going to get
Yep.
some doubts in the back of your head, and you're not going to put forth the type of effort that you wish you would have, where you're
Right.
standing 50 feet away from one and you weren't holding the camera, and that's a bad feeling. I know that from experience. So if you're gonna spend your time, your money, and your effort going out in the field looking for these creatures, proceed as if you already know that they are real and be prepared at all times.
Right.
And a lot of this is
Oh yeah.
luck too. You can't really control when something like that shows up. It takes a long time to actually get a pattern of life with these creatures to figure out what months, that they're in a particular area. Finding the area is 99% of the battle, an area where they frequent all the time, or throughout the year. That's the hardest part of all of this. But then once you do find that, it just comes down to spending a lot of time in that area. And again, that's very hard for people to do.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah,
kind of off track.
Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. I'm just going to call him TKB. TKB in the house. Per Grok, XYZ Film has to pay $30,000 licensing fee paid to the Patterson family, potentially $200,000 to $1 million lifetime gross. So,
And look, I'm going to say this, and I don't know any of the people involved. Um, I wasn't there again, but I know one thing. Like you were saying before, uh, Bob, he uh, he got the short end of the stick for years. He either ignored it, like you were saying, or really didn't get much out of it
right.
up until, you know, probably since I started getting them, about what, maybe 10 years ago. He really started, you know, doing the circuit and getting on more TV shows and all that good stuff. Of course, it may have been sooner than that. I don't know. But he probably, if you look at the other side with the Pattersons, they didn't get anything out of it. And that may just be what this is.
You're right.
You're breaking up, or I'm breaking up, one of the two.
Yeah, so are you.
So if
It's
you
you're
go
breaking up.
you go that many years without profiting from something like that, then maybe you only have one shot to really get what you think you deserved, you know.
But yeah,
But who
that's what I'm
knows?
saying. Bob Gillen never made a penny off of this. He's made no money off the film, and it wasn't until late in age that he even showed up at the first Bigfoot conference or something like that to discuss it. So I don't I don't I don't think he was trying to scam anything, because why scam if you got absolutely nothing out of it? You know. So,
Well,
but like I said, in the end, I don't think it matters. Yep.
no,
Go ahead.
I can't remember his name now. The the scientist, the optical physicist. I know his wife. Um, what's his name? How come I can't remember his name now? The lady that just had the film, Gatewood and all that stuff. Maccabee.
Oh, I don't know.
You're you're frozen up. You're not moving. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Anyway, Mr. Maccabee, apparently the way him and his wife got a hold of the copy of the film that they had, that eventually is what uh, Gatewood got a hold of, um, is because he did some work for the Pattersons on the film. I guess he analyzed it
Right.
or whatever, and they could not pay him for the work that he did. So instead of paying him, they gave him a copy of the film. And that's where
Right.
they came up. That's where how they had their copy, right? Um, so I don't know. It may be financial. Again, all this is, but until we actually see the suit, if there's
Yeah.
a suit, and you can compare it to Patty, there's no way 100% to know.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see though.
Yeah, like I said, I've already, just by what people are saying and stuff, already in my head, red flags are popping up on this. I think it's a bunch of crap. I think where I stand right now, it could change. I could watch it and go, "Holy crap, it's a fake!" But it again, it will not change anything that I believe or don't believe in Bigfoot. It just won't change anything at all. Period.
Yeah.
Um, we've dealt with a lot of hoaxes, a lot of liars, and stuff like that. So it really doesn't make a difference. Um, so,
Well,
but I want to get
it's
in.
kind of on. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying
No,
what?
I was going to say it's on us to give people more than one film. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
We
Different
uh
angles.
yeah, we can't. We've there's only a handful of good films out there, and it's kind of on us to get more in order to back up what we're saying. So, and then again,
Right.
some people don't need that. But anyway, go ahead with your. Why don't you show us your video?
Yeah, so let me get into this, and Icebox is there, so Icebox can listen. I might, depending, we might bring Icebox in just to get his opinion if he wants to or not. So let me set it up for you first. Is I was at work, and
Well, bring
luck.
Icebox in.
Yeah, you want me to bring him in? Hey, Icebox, I'm gonna put the there's here's the link. I'm putting it in the chat room. There's the link if you want to come in. So the here okay guys, let me kind of set the stage for you. Where I work, I'm covering about 3,500 acres, surrounded by who knows how much more, but it's 3,500 acres. And in the field that I'm in, I'm lucky enough that I'm able to use the equipment I use looking for Bigfoot. I can also use in my job. Let's just put it that way. So there was a night that what started was I heard coyotes. I heard a lot of coyotes. Like, oh, I love hearing coyotes. So um, I'm sitting on the side of a road type area, and overlooking a drainage. You'll see it in some of the video. It's a drainage pond, is what it is, with little what do you call them? There's not water fountains, but it spews water up. You know what I mean? It's made to churn the water so it doesn't mold and stagnate and stuff like that. Is really what it's supposed to do. But it's a lined pond. It's not earth. It's lined with this material. But anyways, I'm looking across that into a tree line, and I was scanning with my night vision, and that's when I spotted something. I'm going to show two videos because first I want to go through the other one to get people's opinion. Then I'm going to throw in the second one. But I saw something fairly large. Now this is a good 500 yards away. It's pretty far. You know what I mean? But it was large, and the trees themselves are 10 to 12 feet tall. It's an area I can't go to without a really good four-wheel drive truck. So, but it's a clear view of this thing, and I don't know what it is. I'm not saying what it is. I'm not saying it's Bigfoot or nothing like that. What I'm saying is I got some strange video. I want you guys to look at it. That's what I'm saying. But whatever it is, it's pretty large. And I'll show you the video and give me your opinion and stuff. And like I said, hey, Icebox, I put the link in the channel. Oh, he says he wants to see the video first. He wants to come up and get his opinion. He wants to see the video first. Douchebag. All right, so let me pull it up here. Now, I put it in my media assets, so I can't pause it or anything like that, guys. So we can watch it a few times if you want, but I can't pause it and then move forward or anything like that. I can by putting it elsewhere, but I didn't. So here's the video. It's 1 minute and 26 seconds. And there's no sound. But that's the tree line. And whatever it is, like I said, those trees are about, I want to say 10, maybe 12 at the max on the bigger ones, but about 10 feet tall. And it's
So
in the
is that just the regular video setting and not
yes, it's a
night
video
vision?
setting. Yeah, it's night vision on video setting. It records video and pictures. Now, this was a little bit later. I came back. This is about 20 minutes later. I come back, and I'm scanning. I couldn't find it, and there, boom, there it was again. But like it's further back into the trees than it was the first time. This is not these two videos. This is three videos connected to each other. The third video, or these three videos. See, I'm scanning to see if I see anything else in the tree line, if there's anything else out there. And you can see those waterfall things. So I'm across. It's on the other side of this pond. Now here's the last video. It's gone. I'm scanning that tree line. You can see the waterfall, and it's gone. Whatever it was there. It kind of backed into the woods a little bit further, so I saw less of it, and now it's gone. So very strange. That was that video. I don't know what it was, but that wasn't. Those videos you just saw was not the first video I took. It wasn't. The first video I took was this one in. And Tommy can verify this. We have what they call the Seymour 200. It literally records night vision in color. Okay, so now you're going to see it. This is only a 30-second. It says you're not connected. I don't know why it says you're not. There you are. I'm bringing Tommy in now. Hey, Tommy. So I'm bringing in now. This video is actually what I shot first. Okay, but I end up leaving. And when I came back, I didn't put it back in that mode is what happened. Also on the dates, guys, when you look at the dates on these things, it's on this camera, that's my fault. I cannot set the date on this camera to save my life. Every time I save it, I set the date and I shut the camera off, it doesn't save the date that I put in. So the date is what the date is. But it was just, when did I say it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago? So this is pretty recent. But let me show you this one. This is daytime or daytime mode, still late at night, still blackout, same time as the regular film. This is just shot with the Seymour in color mode because it uses AI technology. You can see one to the left that's a little bit bigger that you couldn't see in the black and white. I'll do it again. Like that. And like I said, then this is what it looked when I went to the other version because I wasn't running color anymore.
What's the tall thing right there? Is that a cell phone tower or something?
Yeah, when they did this property, they had to run a telephone poles. Now you don't. I can't see. No, I'm sorry. I was moving. I wasn't parking in the exact same spot each time that I came back. I would 100 yards over here, 50 yards over here, and then went back to try to find it. Where was this thing at? And then I'd find it. I'd film it for a little bit. Then I'd have to leave. Then I'd come back, and I'd be at a different location and stuff like that. So I don't know what it is. All I did was I saw it. I didn't know what it was. Like I said, what made me look in that direction originally was coyotes. I thought maybe I'd catch some coyotes on thermal, or on night vision. But
Have you
I don't know.
gotten? Have you had a chance to go out to the same exact spot and take after video?
Yes. Now that's no, well, not after video because anytime I get there it's late at night. But like I said, later that night, because this all started around, I want to say 1 o'clock in the morning. I want to say, I can't remember. But like I said on this video, at the very end when I scan and there's nothing there, that's around 3 a.m. There's just nothing there. You start out seeing something, and then like I said, I wish I could fast forward to the end. At the end, it's gone. Whatever it was, it is not there. And you can see that telephone pole in there. You also see it in the color version. But like this right here was each time I left and came back. Like this is when I came back, I just forgot to zoom in a little bit further. And I'm probably, if I remember right, I'm 100 yards to the left maybe. I can't remember now. I just know I wasn't parked in the exact same spot each time. I had to keep mobile. I had to keep moving around. But and then like I said, the last one was just like the top of it. That's all that was left was the top of it, whatever it was. And see, that's where I'm scanning. And you see the water again. There's the water thing again. And there's three of those things out there. Those waterfall things. And now that's what you're talking about. That's when I came back and I'm scanning. I'm trying to find it again, and I can't find it anywhere. And you can see the waterfall, so I'm scanning in the same area. I see nothing. And then, like
Yeah.
I said,
Hmm. Interesting.
so I don't know what it is.
Focus. It's a little bit
Yeah.
out of focus.
Well, and I was focusing. It's just I think I was maxed out on the distance that the Seymour would pick up. It was still, like I said, it was getting pixelated and stuff like that. I was thankful that the color part still worked, and it was a bright moon that night. I think that's what helped out with the Seymour. But like I said, I wouldn't even have looked over there if I hadn't heard coyotes. I was just interested in. Yeah, I don't know. Patrick's asking why is it white looking. I have no idea. I don't even know what it is, and is it supposed to be white or not white? I don't know what it is. So. Uh,
Well, at first you look at it, it kind of looks like it's the thermal. That's what's throwing me off a little bit. And then I
well,
realize, you're using the Seymour, and I know what the Seymour does.
right.
So I can't understand why it's so white looking that far away. I don't understand why is it that way.
Leonard's like, can you describe it? What you see is what I saw,
Yeah.
Lenny. That's all I can tell you. What you see is what you saw. Hey, Johnny, is that you? Send me a text message because somebody's entering. And it says J2B, and
That would be him.
yeah, but what is B?
Johnny Two Bears.
Oh, that's it. Two bears. There. Oh no, see, that's not him. He's right here. I don't know who
Hmm.
the other one.
I don't know what happened.
Uh,
You are J2B, ain't you, Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, somebody asked, can you describe what it looked like? Hey, Lenny, I don't know. What you see in the video is what I saw. I was, like I said, I was probably well over 500 yards away from whatever it was.
Hmm.
You know, and I don't know why
Yeah.
it's white, and I don't know why it was there, and then it wasn't anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not
You.
enough to go on, but it's definitely strange that it I guess disappeared and it's all white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
the Seymour's very, very good and very accurate on color. Okay? And
Yep.
so if it says it's white, it's white. If it says it's red, it's red. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like I said, I started off at the. It's just when I came back, um, I didn't put it back in the first mode. I'm trying to fiddle with this thing at nighttime, trying to with my fingers, and I couldn't. I finally said, "Screw it! I'm just going to videotape. I'm not going to play around with this thing and then mess everything up." So I just stayed on whatever mode it was on when I came back, which was the black and white, which is just regular IR. Um, my even I tried to use my IR flashlight and it wouldn't reach that far. So, like I said, I don't know what it was. I don't know if that's what got the coyotes howling and playing around or whatever. I don't know. Um, it's just one
Did
of those
you
things.
happen
Don't know
to
what it is. Hey,
did Do you have access to where this thing was at?
I have. I mean, I could be back where I was standing in those particular areas, but to get to where it is,
Yeah.
I don't have a vehicle that I could get back there with without getting stuck.
So you can't check
There's
for
no
prints or anything else.
no. My truck is 4-wheel drive Dodge, and I would get stuck going back there.
Mm-hmm.
I would get stuck. It's pretty shady back there, and
Mm-hmm.
let
And I know that.
alone it's we have privacy. We have a mechanical fence going all the way around as well. So So I
Yeah.
literally have to go out of my way to get back there. So
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a mystery.
yeah, it is.
yeah,
I, I,
but I
like I said, it looks like a thermal more than it does the
it
night
does.
vision.
It does, and that's why I got to tell people. They're like, "Oh, it's thermal and white is hot." No, I'm actually looking at it through a um, night vision, not thermal. Um,
Well, it
I
in kind of a defense of the film itself, um, we all heard, and I have heard a lot of the white thing in Alabama, and it's not unheard of that a Bigfoot does get white, especially with age. I would think, and being that tall. Uh, I mean, it like Johnny says, who knows? I'm just saying
right.
there is that possibility. Let's go that route. A possibility that it could be a Bigfoot that's white. And
Yeah,
I
I
know
don't.
how the Seymour
Yeah,
acts.
yeah, because I had one of the people out there that I interact with made a comment about the property and how large it is and stuff like that. Then we brought up bears, and then I said, oh, I said absolutely, there'll be bears out here at some point, because the only thing separating this huge property from another huge property, which is owned by Archibald. Those people in Florida know who Archibald is. Archibald is a conservation preservation group that buys thousands upon thousands of land to protect endangered species. That's right across the highway. Within from where I'm standing, it's probably about over a mile away, but it's not far that a bear or something could come from that property and into this property. Um, I don't think it's a bear, because the whole time
Mm,
it was up and down. So it wasn't short and stocky. It was tall and wide, but to me, every time I came back, it looked like it was moving further and further back into the woods, into that tree line. It just kind of moved further and further back, to the point where I couldn't see it anymore. Like I said, it was just a weird thing that I even pointed a camera that way. I was just hoping I was going to catch some coyotes on night vision.
Well, it makes sense. You got water there. Come down and get a late light drink and started walking away. Uh, it's just a hard thing to say. Just a hard thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was one of those things where I could have sat there the whole time and just filmed nonstop, but
Hmm.
due to the nature of my job, I have to keep moving, and so I'll take a few minutes here, a few minutes there. That's why it's never in the exact same spot, because I'm trying to get a better view and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. I wish that.
Yeah.
I know if you ain't got to see more, it's got like what one time
seven
zoom
settings.
two. Yeah, well, it does with the IR. Yeah, but the expansion of the quality, you're gonna have to focus it every time. You know what I'm saying? I think it goes up to like 16 times, and if you
Yeah,
don't
it can zoom
get that
in.
focus right, yeah, it
Yeah,
won't
and that was the
pixelate.
problem with me, was there's so much going on at once trying to film this thing. I
Hmm.
mean, I've got other clips. I got over 9 or 10 clips of this. You guys only saw four. See what I'm saying? But I picked the best four that I could find to give us, because the other ones I'm moving, I'm trying to focus. It jacks everything up. So I finally just gave up and said I'm just going to film it the way I see it. Um, I
Well, in
I
my
might have, I, huh?
experimentation of the Seymour, I've tried to video airplanes in the sky and telephone poles and faraway places, and I found that if you do that and you expand, say like past 4%, four times, whatever you want to call it, then you're gonna have to start refocusing to get more of a
Right.
clearer picture, and especially at 16 times, that being a far away, yeah, it's possible to clear it up, but we don't fool with them enough to just
Right.
automatically play it like it's a daggone piano. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
it's probably been a year since I've used it to
Hmm.
that extent. You know what I mean? So I wasn't familiar with the buttons and what I was pushing and stuff, because according to Seymour, it can zoom. You can see things up to 1,600 feet away.
Hmm.
So I was probably maxed out at. I mean, like I said, this thing is pretty
Yep.
far out there. I don't know what it was. I
You know,
haven't
that's
claimed it to be anything. I personally, if you were to ask me what do you think it is, I'd say I don't think it's a Bigfoot. I don't. But I haven't said anything. I don't know.
well, well, let's go with the possibility, like we said. There's water nearby. It's being aerated. Um, it's late night, what 1 to 3 o'clock, which is to me is a known time that they like to get out and warm around. Most of the time when they get up and start moving around, it's they're kind of like checking out things, getting water, getting into hunting mode for the night. Usually around 1 o'clock, they're just roaming around. That's why you start hearing stuff late at night at that time. So it's kind of in that realm. So there's always that possibility. I'm not going to say it is either, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
there is that possibility.
And there are alligators in that pond. There's fish in that pond. I mean, it's anything that's a body of water in Florida is going to have those things in it.
Hmm.
So, but it's created for runoff. The pond is created for runoff. So,
Okay.
so what do
Evening,
you
Johnny.
say,
Interesting
Johnny?
stuff. Huh?
So what do you
Good
say,
evening.
Johnny?
I don't know, man. It's weird that it moves. It's also whatever it is. It looks big.
Yeah, I wish I could go back during the day and stand where I think it was, and have somebody at least take a photograph and say, because whatever it is, it's a lot larger than me. It's a lot larger. I mean, the one thing I do know is the varying heights of those trees over there, because they run the whole perimeter. So
Hmm.
Well, I would definitely keep the camera on me just in
oh
case
yeah,
it happens again.
I do. I keep binoculars. Everything is right there. I mean, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
have since then checked it out, scanned the area again. Again, nothing. I could do it tonight, or well, I don't work tonight, but tomorrow night I can go it again, and you'll see nothing there. Like I said in the video, a good reference. I didn't realize it, or I would have used it to my benefit. Was that water fountain thing, and use it as a reference. So I would have gone back to the exact same spot each time and use it as a reference. But and I didn't. But in the video, I mean, it's clear that I'm in that same area. I'm not far
Hmm.
from, because you do see that water spout thing every I don't know what those things are called, but you see it in the shot every couple times.
Mm.
Well,
Well,
cool,
maybe
man.
you have better luck
Hey,
next time on it.
hey, Patrick had a question for you, Johnny. It says, "Can you ask Johnny how he likes his body camera?"
They're pretty decent for. They don't see out as far as I would like them to. Um, but I tell you this, the audio that they record is excellent.
Which one
Like
are you
I'm
using?
very surprised. It's just a Bob Love. I don't
Yeah, that's
I
what I
don't
use.
remember they got several different models, but again, the audio is great. And anything, within, I don't know, I was testing it the other day. It's probably only out to 60 feet. I mean, I've gotten eye shine on it. That's one good thing. I've gotten
Oh, nice.
pretty good eye shine twice on it.
Mine
But
has a remote where I can put the remote in my pocket and turn it on anytime I want. Just bam, it's on. And I got
yeah,
that model because a lot of times I had to approach somebody, and as I approached somebody to question them or whatever, I could go ahead and turn my body cam on without their knowledge that I just turned it on.
Got a question for you guys. What do you think about the Ohio sightings? I know y'all was already talking about the PG film, but what do you think about the Ohio sightings? The rash of
I've heard about them, but I haven't seen any footage or anything like that. I
there
mean,
is
yeah. I
none.
haven't looked. I haven't looked deep into it. I just saw that it was popping up that there were multiple sightings in Ohio.
Hmm.
So I don't know anything about it really.
Well, I've checked into it a little bit, and I think it's a setup. It's a setup.
you think
You
so?
got yeah, with the PG films coming out now, and
Right.
all of a sudden, now if I have to hang on a second.
Yeah, I did mention that. I mentioned the time. The timing was weird. That's all the thing I can say is the timing's odd.
And then coincidental that a meteorite flies through in Ohio too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's one of those things. And looking at things as a researcher, I would have to know who's making the claims, what's their names, who are they, what's their background,
Well, there's got to
and
be somebody that one of the three of us know that are researching in Ohio that.
Well, I will say this, and I'm not going to mention names. I'm going to be nice about it. That a certain person was receiving these sightings, and they were all going to him. And they
ah,
gentleman up, even though they don't know him from anybody. When I say that, they probably watch his podcast, but it was like all of it was going to this particular guy, and there were different places. And how do you get that?
right,
You see what I'm saying? You got a sighting over here, this certain person gets in touch with this particular person. Okay.
right.
And another one sighting, say a mile or two away. Well, this guy does the same thing. You see what I'm saying? They're all
How do they
contact.
all know to contact that guy?
You got
Right.
it. You
And
got
even if they talked, it's 6 sightings. Let's say, was it six? Was it 6 sightings? Um, for them all to go send it to the same man, that means they all to have known each other or contacted each other or knew of each other to send it. Yeah, that does bring up a good point. That could be a big red flag that one person got all these sightings.
Is that
Um,
individual connected to the BFRO?
no.
does that person's first name begin with a J?
Not going to say. It could be a K. It could be an O. I'm not going to say. I'm not out to discredit. I'm not
How
out
about
to.
a Z? Z, Alex. Take a
It could be an
Z.
R. You know,
Uh,
I'm just saying I don't want to
Yeah.
discredit the gentleman because I like him, and I know it's a guy. Heck, but it's just strange. If I got six people calling me at different times, one, how did you get my phone number? Two, I can see it in an email, and then I'm gonna get a little curious about it. I'll probably check out the one and two and the three. Then when I get six, I'm thinking it's a setup of some sort. Um,
right.
yeah, just in the last TKB's on it. It's just a little bit odd. And then now you got the PG film coming out. I think there's some people that are out there playing games. Just to be honest with you, they're not going to get no fame off of it. Well, I don't know about the PG film, but on this particular situation, they're not going to. And I think they're playing a game. I don't know if they're trying to draw interest back up into Ohio. I don't know.
What area
Truthfully,
of
truthfully,
Ohio
I hope
was
it's
this?
true. It is basically northeast of Salt Fork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in my mind, I hope it's true because I'm gonna be at Salt Fork in May.
Right.
So that maybe it
There
increases
was,
some
wasn't
chances.
there was a guy that was putting out a lot of stuff in Salt Fork there for a while, a couple of years back. Um, God, what was it? Something outdoors. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
No.
I've seen a lot of films
It,
about Salt Fork, but not that one.
it was one particular dude that was putting out stuff in Salt Fork. And I think it started out as an outdoor channel, and then he started
Mhm.
posting stuff. I can't remember.
There's a guy I periodically come across, and his thing is called Caught Outdoors, I think, or something like that. But that
Mhm.
guy's a liar and a half. Everything that guy does is probably the easiest. I could hoax everything he's doing without even attempting it, without even trying. It's so easy. He comes up with absolutely nothing, and I mean, some of his evidence is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. You know, but there's so much of that going on, so much of it. These people just for some reason want to be famous, or they want a big payday. They want to be on the next expedition unknown. I don't know what they want. You know.
Small town, what is it? Small town monsters, and uh,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of hurts. Well, I'm gonna say us collectively as a group are trying to do. We're just trying to gain evidence, have a good time, talk about Bigfoot. We're not trying to scam anybody. Let's put it that way. That kind of gets to me a little bit, but hey, it is what it
TKB
is.
coming out
I'll
with
deal
all
with it.
the hidden information, man. TKB's really stepped up and helped us find some stuff tonight.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I did comment because of
You put him on a payroll.
Yes, sir. Talk
Yeah,
about research.
Research
Bigfoot
division.
Society's one of, yeah.
Okay, so he's
All right,
that.
fellas, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. My dinner's done.
I just
Yep.
ate mine a while ago, Johnny. Just a while
I
ago.
have not eaten yet. Ended up taking a nap before the show, and then got started with the show. And Mars's grading papers or doing something for the next grading period or whatever, because spring break ends. She goes back to work tomorrow, and so we're gonna go grab dinner, and then I got to take her home.
Okay.
So
All
Well,
right.
good.
Well,
That
I'll
sounds
jump
like
off
a good
here.
Sunday evening.
yeah,
Well, it was good
only thing
hanging
to
out
make
with
it
you
better is
guys.
football.
Yeah.
No,
Big
thank you,
deal.
Johnny, for doing this. We wanted to address that issue on the PG film and stuff like that, and rest
Yeah, it's a
Yep.
everybody's
good
mind.
thing I wasn't on for that. Oh Lord.
Well, you
Before
can
I
bring me.
jump off,
You can bring me on your show, and we'll talk about it.
we can do it. We can do it. Johnny, I enjoyed having you on about a week ago. I'm working on another one, so I hope to catch you again. But
Good
that
deal.
was so good, so great. I enjoyed Johnny on the show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to Flat Rock.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
always
Yeah,
fun.
Flat Rock's great.
it's fascinating how different or how alike yet different. You know,
Oh yeah,
just
yeah. Don't
completely.
worry.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we are going to. I'm not going to give it away. Just keep your eye on the show. Johnny's. I'm hoping to get him back on for some different reasons, and it was fun. It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, anyways, I'm gonna get out here,
Yeah.
Richard. See you, my brother.
Nice box.
Call
Appreciate
me
it, buddy.
anytime, buddy.
Yep. Later, guys.
All
See ya.
right, guys. All right, guys. Again, great crowd. It was a small crowd, but we threw this together at the last minute. We usually do our shows
Yeah, it was
Thursday or
super
Friday.
early.
This is a Sunday at 5. Yeah, but we knew we
Yeah.
didn't have a guest, but we definitely wanted to talk about the PG thing and kind of get our opinion out there, and so people know. Don't let it change your mind. Don't let it. There's a lot of red flags on what's being put out there, and like you said, Johnny, we got to see it. When it comes out and it finally comes public, I'll take the time. You'll take the time. We'll watch it and see what we come out with it. So, but
Yep. Yep. All right, man. Well, you have a
all
good
right,
Sunday, and I will talk to everyone later on.
all right. Take care, Johnny.
Have a good
Tell
one,
the
bud.
wife and kids I said hey.
Oh yeah, I will.
All right, buddy. Bye. And God bless everybody out there. You guys have a great week, and we'll be seeing you guys soon. Got some great guests lined up. Trying to work out time frames right now, but one of them is going to be a lot of fun. He's a good friend, a good buddy. I love talking to him when I get a chance, and we'll have him coming up soon. So, like I said, just working out the fine details. God bless each and every one of you guys, and take care.